Welcome back to On the Scene. Joining me now is Tom Homan. He's the border czar for the Trump administration. He joins Scripps News right now. Mr. Homan, thank you for joining us. I want to start with something that Todd Lyons, the acting director of ICE, recently told Congress. He said that any member of Congress has the right to show up for an inspection at any one of our facilities in their oversight capability. Is that a statement that you agree with?
Yes, but it has to be done the proper way.
Yeah. So obviously the context here is what happened to Congresswoman LaMonica McIver, facing charges now. Charges very similar to the charges that were dropped against the Newark mayor. In your view, what is the difference?
Well, look, I didn't see the Newark mayor put hands on officers. I didn't see him shoving officers. The video I saw, she made physical contact with ICE officers. And look, she has oversight responsibility, but there's a proper way to do that. You make arrangements, you come in the front door, and you show them the facility. You don't force your way into a facility and going through a barrier where officers are trying to stand guard. A facility that has a lot of dangerous people in there. We got to maintain control of that facility. So when we do oversight tours, we got to make sure not only are the people doing the tour safe, the officers safe, and the inmates themselves are safe, the ones who are detaining that facility. So what she did was not proper, it was unprofessional, and she's being held accountable for it.
Let's move on to some of the recent Supreme Court decisions. Number one, that the Trump administration can go ahead and with deportations potentially of Venezuelan refugees given temporary protected status. Does the Trump administration intend to start deporting Venezuelans, and if so, how soon?
As soon as possible. Yeah, we got to remember, I've been doing this since 1984. Temporary protected status is supposed to be temporary. The sad thing is, it's never temporary, right? It's given a temporary protected status because the conditions in the country are too dangerous for the alien to be returned to that country. When that country conditions improves, TPS goes away and they need to go home. That's the whole system, the way it's set up. So President Trump's following the law. The country is not in the same position it was when they awarded TPS. And I frankly believe the last administration awarded TPS just before the Trump administration came in to try to block us from enforcing immigration law. So I think the court's made the right decision, and we'll work quickly to deport as many as we can.
And are there other specific groups that you are also looking to take out from the umbrella of temporary protected status? I'm thinking Ohio Governor Mike DeWine the other day was talking about how even if people were taking Haitians in Ohio, which of course were such a talking point in the campaign, were taken out from legal protected status, that they would essentially companies would not be able to employ them, and it would really have a sort of mitigating and freezing effect on Ohio businesses. So is the intent here to expand to other specific groups in the near term?
I think the rule is that when that temporary protective status in that period ends, if the country conditions have improved, they need to go home. So that's a decision made by Secretary Noem. She reviews those as they come up to expiration dates. So I think that's a decision for her, but any temporary protected status is temporary. As long as country conditions are not bad and they've improved since that TPS was awarded, they should go home. That's the way it was set up by Congress, and that's the rules of TPS.
All right, and let's talk about another big Supreme Court ruling recently about the Alien Enemies Act. Does the administration pledge to abide by the Supreme Court's ruling that it cannot deport immigrants under the AEA as it has been doing, and do you anticipate other changes in tactics to be on the horizon?
Well, one thing we won't change is we'll continue to arrest members of the TDA and MS-13 or designated terrorist groups. If we can't remove them from the Alien Enemies Act, we'll detain them. The option that isn't available is they're no longer going to walk the streets. We'll hold them in detention. And we either go to a Title VIII removal, which means they see an immigration judge get ordered removed, or they go to expedited removal proceedings or voluntary return. So we're going to keep arresting them. We'll keep taking these dangerous people off the streets of our nation, and we'll detain them and find other methods to remove them. There are many methods to remove them. So if we have a pause put on now for removing through the Alien Enemies Act, then we'll simply find another way to get rid of them. But we're not going to allow them to continue to walk the streets of America. These are dangerous people. They're a public safety threat. Many of them are national security threats. we're going to keep President Trump's promise and remove them from the community.
And let's talk about those self-deportation flights. It was reported that we saw the first round of those recently. Do you have the numbers on how many immigrants have self-deported since that program was introduced, and how many you hope to see take advantage of what the Trump administration views as a pretty good ticket out of the country?
I think the number of total self-deportation is running around 7,800 that's filed for self-deportation. Some aren't going through the CBP One app. Some aren't taking advantage of our flights, or they're leaving on their own. As we ramp this up and continue to message to that population that it's much safer and much easier to self-deport, you can get your affairs in order, whether that's members of your family or property, whatever. Get your affairs in order. Let's do this in a humane fashion, in an orderly fashion. And I think the message is leave on your own and give yourself an opportunity to come back to this country through legal means, whether it's a tourist visa, a visitor's visa, a permanent resident, whatever. Or if you have a U.S. citizen child, that child can petition for you to come back to the United States as a parent U.S. citizen. But we want to leave legal options open to them. If they don't take advantage of this, and we have to go through the process of formally deporting them, finding them, and deporting them at our will, that places a mandatory bar against them from ever participating in a legal process. Some as high as 20 years, some permanently. So we want them to do things the right way. They're in the country legally. That's not okay. Entering the country legally is a crime. That's not okay. Leave on your own and give yourself some opportunity in the future. There are millions of people standing in line today, taking their tests, doing their background investigation, paying their fees, and be a part of the greatest nation on earth. There's a right way to come here and a wrong way to come here. We want them to leave and come back the right way.
And do you still consider the situation at the border to be an emergency? Obviously, this is an administration that has talked very fondly about how things have gone in the first 100-plus days of the Trump administration, but do you still consider it to be an emergency?
It's an emergency as long as we have gotaways. It's an emergency as long as fentanyl comes across that border. We made great progress, temporary progress. We're holding the line now, but we got money from Congress to get the boots on the ground, the infrastructure, the tech equipment that goes in that border wall. Need to finish building that border wall. We need money to finish what we started. We're in a good place now, but we need more money to make this secure border permanent. So that's what we're asking for. We're asking for money from Congress. Because there's a lot of wall we built under Trump 45, but the technology to go in that wall, Biden administration not only stopped building new wall, they stopped the technology from going into the existing new wall, which allows officers to talk to one another in emergencies. It allows technology to know if someone's approaching that wall, someone climbing that wall, someone digging under that wall. We get notifications. So we need money from Congress to make these the positive things we've done in the last 4 months. We need to make it permanent. We need money from Congress to do that.
Border Czar Tom Homan, thank you so much for your time.
You got it. Thank you.